crazy with scope and power creep.
A Star Wars tabletop would be fun.
Couple of space ones. There's a Fallout one.
You guys want to run a Rogue Trader game?
Oh yeah, World of Darkness run would be fun.
I've done World of Darkness before. Listen here, you son of a bitch.
Was that an expansion or something?
$24.
Say 24 makes more sense than 25.
But what if it was 6, 7?
Listen here, you shit.
I am a machine spirit, the fuck you mean?
Co-op games are you looking at? Are you playing Requiem this weekend? Friday. Technically Thursday night, I think. Thursday at 6? Actually, don't. It is this weekend sometime.
Twitter is dead. Later.
Hello, guys. How's it going? Thank you, Mr. Steve, for the 87 months. If he can blame the rustoids on his lower circuit pain, yes. On Twitter, I have not had the time to be able to diagnose it. I hope to do so this week. So for those of you guys that did check out the Twitter streams, bear with me. I'm sorry for that. Oh. Not even gonna ask. No, it's just because last time was the collab stream with the girlfriend, and at the end of stream, I made the screen really big. So that's all it is. But I hope everyone's doing good. Thank you guys for tuning in again. We got some stuff to talk about today, but let's start out with FGO. You have 3 hours left currently in the event. I am completely done. I have gotten all my Valentines. They're in my mailbox. I have gotten all the points. I have done the CQ. We are good on that front. Literally, the only thing I have left would be potentially to like buy some stuff like the foes, which is frankly not a big deal, honestly. So we will instead focus on, with the time that is remaining, getting these done, and then with whatever I have left, then I'll do runs in the event. Since it doesn't really matter. Can land an airship on that runway there. Are you talking about my forehead? Because it's only a forehead. Okay? I want you guys to see that. It's only a forehead. It is not, in fact, a 5-head. What a thing to open a window to. Exactly. What's the news? We'll talk about that in a bit. I have some announcements to make. Yeah, I guess we'll still go with this setup. The news is Cad secretly was a giant. There was no secret about it. I've let you guys know that many times. I know, like, it always surprises people, but I actually am 6'6". And I've at least met 2 people IRL that can attest to that. Plus, girlfriend can attest to it. Pretty sure all of VIP can reasonably attest to it just due to having seen IRL pictures of me. Fuzzy, thank you for the 14. I appreciate that, my dude. How's it going? Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. I am sorry I did not stream yesterday. I had the option to. Girlfriend would have absolutely let me, because she was trying to get out of, like, town before I streamed. But I kind of didn't want to rush her. And she had been, like, doing a lot of, like, cooking and cleaning for me, which was not something I required of her, just full disclaimer. That was something she was doing out of kindness. And so, as a result, I was like, well, why don't you just stay in? I won't stream tonight, you know, because she was still waiting on the dessert that she was cooking, which I did post to Twitter today if you guys hadn't already seen it. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys real fast. Yeah, here you go. So she made basically strawberry crumble with whipped cream, and it turned out fantastic because we went strawberry picking with my brother today, on Sunday, and that went swimmingly. It was great. She got to meet my brother and his whole family, and that was a fun time. And so then she served it with whipped cream and butter pecan ice cream, and it was so good. I just had some of it before stream here as well. It's just absolutely freaking amazing. But I did post it in the food posting section of the Discord as well. Zach, thank you for the 17. Appreciate it, my dude. Hope you also had a fantastic weekend. And again, sorry for the delayed start here on Tuesday instead of Monday. We're going to talk a little bit about some stuff and play some FGO in the interim. It looked good. How did it taste? It tastes fantastic. I was actually surprised because I was a little bit worried that the strawberries weren't going to be that good, but they were actually really, really sweet. Maintenance for CBC in 3.5 hours. Yes, I have not made a video for Chaldea Boys. We'll talk about that. Granted, it is a very simplistic event. There's nothing you guys really need to worry about with that sort of thing. And that's pretty much par for the course for usually our Valentine's and CBC events. So it is what it is. Devs are messing with our EX clairvoyance. It happens, right? Like, it's something that the devs have done many times over. And you guys know my stance on this. It's like, I don't think it's actually a good thing. I'm sure the devs appreciate it because they kind of get to break the mold and get people to spend some money. But I actually, and I've said this before, I do feel like they actually, in the long term, don't get the amount of money that they otherwise would. Because, like, for instance, I was somebody that was going to roll Richard, but now because they moved it forward, I, in fact, did not roll Richard. Now, this is still technically net zero for them in that regard. It does depend on a couple of factors as to whether or not I roll for Richard at the end of the year. And if I do, then at the end of the day, it's no harm, no foul, and there's no penalty for moving it forward, right? But if somehow this gets me not to roll because I had to make the decision on Richard faster, then we're in a little bit of a weird decision on their part. And so that's why I say, like, I think honestly it doesn't actually get them more money. I think if anything, it actually, if anything, could lose them money. I have a cold and a slight fever, debilitating but annoying. I have been having stomach issues like since last week, and it has been a thing. Like, I am down quite a bit of weight as a result, despite the fact that I've eaten very profusely. I'm working from home this week, thankfully, so I can relax a bit. Nice. Won't be rolling next year. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Khalil? How's it going? Also, sorry if my voice sounds a little bit rough still. That has been the case for me as well since we've been to the theme parks. Like, this past weekend, I went to Universal as well before getting to go meet my brother. And that was, how should I put it? Like, just a redux of the prior weekend at Disney, where, like, I wasn't there very long, thankfully, but we did get to ride on some rides and I screamed, and so therefore, because I screamed, it strained my voice. So my voice has still been a little bit raspy. Plus, it's actually cold again in Florida, which is, I'm gonna say it's welcome, considering it was up to like 91 degrees on Saturday, so I'll take it. But I'm like kind of at the point where I'm ready for winter to be done, but I also don't want summer. So it's like going from one extreme to the other is just not fun. Okay, so we got the AP done there. We got all of our storm pods done in time for CBC. So we will rush on in and do the 40 AP node. Let's see. Since I'm over my point total, realistically speaking, I think the only thing I need is bronze. So let's see. I still only have the one bronze C, so it's not like I can make major changes to the composition here. But I can free up some room for somebody else. So can I fit a 4-star? I can. Let's take an event bonus 4-star. If there is one? Is there really not an event bonus 4-star? Whack. Oh, whatever. We'll throw Columbus there in the back line, then at least get some extra bond for him. And then I guess that frees up enough for another 3-star since they're 7 AP. Yeah, sure, why not? Get in there. Actually, hold on. That's upcoming event. Yeah, he is legitimately the only bonus, so it just doesn't matter. Leave him in the party and then he'll bond in. Been cleaning up my 12 plus inches of snow. Damn. I only roll for male units or sexy Odysseus. Okay. Oh, sorry. You said meta male units. I don't know why I did this turn order like that. It be what it be. This composition is still wonky. It's still weird, but I haven't bothered to change it because it works. And it got the job done. I feel bad for the people in Canada. I don't. They lost to us in hockey after talking shit the prior year, so it is what it is. Addo, thank you for the 46. Hope you're having a good one. Did I have a snow day? No. I I haven't like as far as I could tell, even that one weekend where we thought there was going to be snow, there was not. I saw somebody say that while I was up in Jacksonville, it was rumored that it did snow up in Jacksonville, but I never saw any of it, and I was out pretty late, so I can't imagine there actually was snow there. No earthly clue. Thank you for the 32. Appreciate it. Again, I hope everybody had a good weekend. I'm sorry for being off for so many days. We did get the announcement of CBC. It does start right after this. JP is a little bit more up in the air. We're not sure what's going on with them next. It's obviously going to be CBC as well, but we don't know when. And, you know, again, we'll just kind of see where things are going. We do have the confirmation as a recap that we have a new story chapter coming, which is at bare minimum interesting. So we'll see what that brings for FGO. Would you all say is better for farming, Vitra or Ryoma Lancer? Pulled Vitra over the weekend. Ryoma Lancer at this point is in a better spot on JP because he's had a Noble Phantasm interlude. Vitra desperately needs an upgrade. And it's not made any better by the fact that the meter exists. I don't think Vritra's bad. I think she actually has some really nice divine utility in her kit for the party, but of course, get a drop on this. It kind of is one of those deals of like she has sorely needed an upgrade for a long time, and the devs just keep kind of ignoring her. So to me, yeah, it's Ryoma Lancer. Imagine cheating at curling too. That one's just whack. Obviously teams cheat, right? Like that is the thing. They get caught every now and then, but like I think the hilarious part to me is that the Canadian team tried to deny it, and then once they realized they were caught, then tried to claim that it was done on purpose specifically to catch them. And it's like, yeah. So what if it was? Were you cheating? Yeah. So it's one of those deals of like, yeah, it's only cheating if you get caught, and you got caught, so own it. Look, you made us cheat, yeah. And I just want to say again, no actual ill will towards anyone Canadian. It's just I find it funny. Company's other branches in Jacksonville, nice. Yeah, we went up to Jacksonville for girlfriend's best friend's birthday. And we had a fun time overall. Got to go to a barcade, got to eat out some really nice places. Played some board games as well. And explain this comp, maybe I can replicate it. I don't know if you'll be able to replicate this one. It's MP5 Ibuki and then my Super Draco. I don't think you need Super Draco to be able to do it. Probably an NP2 works, but the Ibuki is going to be where you're going to need quite a bit because it's basically double Castoria. And the way I start out, so like let's assume this is battle number 1. I basically start out by doing all of the first Castoria's buffs onto Draco. And then I rotate, pull in Castoria number 2, and Castoria number 2 does her arts up on Ibuki, and then her MP gain buff on herself because she has mana loading. So with the mana loading and that, plus I think I have Point C's equipped to all 3 of these units, I end up basically getting the job done. Which I will say, if you don't want to try something like this, just equip like Black Rail, and that'll get you a lot more firepower than what I'm currently doing. But yeah, and so like in doing that, I'm getting enough charge on the Castoria to be able to NP with her. So basically, wave 1, I just have Draco take the single enemy, and then wave 2, I NP with both Ibuki and Castoria, and then wave 3 here is usually Ibuki again and Draco. And so it's like the charge increments and how you do it matter, but really the key here is that your Ibuki has to be able to take the entire middle wave with only a single Castoria buff and the right enemy on wave 3. Got the Excalibuds already? No, I did see that though. It's really interesting. My earpods still work, AirPods, but they're not doing too great. But I'm gonna milk them until they die. We have not talked about the news yet. We will in a bit. Oh no, it's not good, Creamy. Just take a look and like check out like what the middle wave is in terms of like traits. I don't remember if it's Earth. I think it is. I've heard of people also getting away with like using Morgan Le Fay, but I think you'd also need a strong one for that. So there's options. It's just going to depend on what you're trying to do. Is there a live stream tonight? Says the event starts tomorrow. Is there a live stream tonight? I didn't think there was. I think it's just literally they are throwing the event at us. Yeah, that's it. Which, to be fair, it's just Chaldea Boys, and the Chaldea Boys event is never very involved. So I will say, like, I'll give the devs a lot of credit, but the fact that they don't even do a stream themselves for Chaldea Boys doesn't really lend importance or credence to the idea that like we should pay attention to it. And I think that's stupid of them a little bit. Earth Demonic, yeah. I'm using an MP2 Morgan, but you need to card on the first wave. Yeah. Like I said, so part of the deal of what I was doing, just to show the composition setup again, like I'm taking like all point Cs basically because I needed that and I didn't have really any other Cs. But you could obviously try to get away with things like Black Rail, and that'll get you a lot more firepower than what I was doing. So it's like partially because of why like I was running a 6-slot comp, and because of that I needed so much more. Whereas like you might be able to get away with a lesser Ibuki with a Black Grail, so. They should just start skipping the MIMO. No, I mean, like, they don't need to skip them, but I definitely understand the idea that, like, hey, it's kind of sleepy and we don't need to care too much. And I'm not going to say, like, that's a huge deal, but I kind of get it. It's take your time, do some other stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, God, I need to drink more water. I'm getting a headache. Sorry, I didn't drink enough water today. I think it's part of the problem. Like, normally, I was kind of in a hurry this morning because I overslept my alarm, and normally I drink an entire glass of water in the morning. Then I usually drink at least another one throughout the day at work. I have one at lunch. And I usually am drinking either one with dinner or like one on stream. So I'm usually getting at least like a good, and when I say one, like this is more than your average cup of water. So yeah, it's definitely more than the allotted amount of water I'm supposed to drink normally. Drink water to solve headache, drink water in general. Yeah, no, I mean, girlfriend has the same issue, and she gets them way more frequently than I do. Like, she'll immediately, upon not drinking enough water, say that she has headaches. Whereas, like, with me, I know I need to drink water because I start getting dehydrated most of the time. This is one of the weird times where I think I actually have a, like, a headache due to just not drinking enough. But again, in fairness, I actually did not drink very much at all today. I didn't have my cup in the morning. I had some at lunch. I had a protein drink for dinner because I actually didn't have enough protein with dinner, and I worked out. So like that combination of things just meant that I hadn't really drank a whole lot of water. Hydrate Redeemware. There is the squirt one, but that was for Aurelia. And she is currently not enabled. As I say, I'm vibing to the beat here. NA is more focused on the upcoming Ordeal Call 2 release. Yeah. And that is what that is. I find it funny caffeine can help with headaches, but also cause them. Usually, if caffeine is the cause of your headache, it's because you haven't had your daily dose of caffeine because you're addicted. So you need the caffeine, and that's the problem. Because you haven't had your daily amount. Apparently, Twitch is changing its rules on moderation. Yeah, that's nothing. Like, I don't know if you guys actually read through it, but they're making some changes that just don't fucking matter. And the general gist that I get is they feel a little bit of like pressure just due to the competition, because I think they realize that they are losing people to other streaming platforms. It's not like a drastic like Twitch is gonna die type situation, but I don't think Twitch is growing right now, and I think that's what's worrying them. Twitch doing something that doesn't matter, no. Yeah. Is what it is. I'm never not ingesting caffeine. Oh god. You might want to slow your roll a little bit. Oh, it actually lived. But yeah, I did pop everything, so I must have just had bad cards. Sometimes I have to do the Castoria NP here in order to make it work. But it is only an NP1 Demeter, so I consider an NP1 Demeter getting close to killing a 90++ pretty much a win. I haven't drank caffeine in over 10 years. You've probably had it somehow, some way. But yeah, if you mean like deliberately drinking it, sure. I get migraines fairly regularly, and caffeine doesn't do anything for or against them. Yeah, I mean that's because like usually migraines are coming from a different like source. I had and this is the only type of migraine I ever get, but I had what's called an ocular migraine, which is when you get the little like slivers in your vision, and I freaking hate that. And I don't get them very regularly, but I had one today while I was on my lunch break, and I was so annoyed because I was sitting in VIP, talking with people, playing some Marvel Rivals while I ate my sandwich. And I just had this sliver right in my vision. And I was playing with Rogue at that point, which thankfully we were just playing against AI because I was just trying to get my dailies done. But like, I'm sitting there playing with Rogue, having to like perfectly aim my shots, and I like can't see because there's just like part of my vision is just blurry. I was like, God damn it, I picked the worst person to be playing during this. I don't like caffeine. Wait, coffee or caffeine? People always get super weirded out about it. It's funny because like I definitely give one of my coworkers shit for not drinking coffee in the office because everybody else does. But at the end of the day, it's like if he doesn't want to, more power to him. Like I have a coffee in the morning, not because I have to, because it does help. Excuse me, it does help me like wake up and focus initially at work. But I don't have one until I get into work, so it's not like I need one to get up. I definitely know some people where it's like they are just not awake until they have their coffee. And that's where I'm going to say it's like, yeah, people are probably having too much. Honestly, one of the best things I ever did, and I highly recommend it for anybody that's trying to lose weight or trying to like just get more healthy, just cut out all soda. I know like soda's like so good and all, but it's like I have cut it out, and like it's funny because I actually had soda like twice last week, and that was the first time that I'd really had it in like months. And I'm right back to drinking water. I don't feel like I need it. Like it's nice every now and then as a little bit of a treat, but like I completely cold turkey cut that shit out, and it has not only saved me so many worthless calories, but I legitimately do actually feel better. Like my energy levels are so much nicer now that I'm not going through the perpetual like sugar high and crash that you kind of get whenever you drink a lot of soda. Remember, you'd have soda often, yeah. And it's funny because I had already done it once before in the past, back in my 20s. I had a little bit of a scare with like some teeth problems that I was having, and they basically like were telling me I was going to need to get implants. I was like, "Fuck no, I'm not doing that," and I don't think this person's actually right, and they weren't, thankfully. But part of like me trying to better myself and kind of self-diagnose was that I sat there and I said like, okay, clearly I need to like cut out all this like god awful sugar intake. So I cut out soda, and it really did help things out with the situation that I was having, because I was basically grinding my teeth, and it helped me to not do that in the middle of the night. And since that point, I brought soda back in and started having it again regularly. But I kind of never got back to that point. But even still, then now here, like years later, I've said like, okay, hey, look, I don't really actually need this soda. It's not helping me. While yes, I do enjoy it, it's nothing that I feel the like need or obligation to go get or do. Lemonade Max Mog soda. I mean, at least you get lemon in lemonade, but lemonade usually has even more sugar than soda does, so there's that. Also makes you realize how damn sweet it is. I mean, soda certainly is sweet, but it's nothing that I find to be like overly sweet. I have heard stories from people that say that like if they don't ever have soda, that they can't drink soda then after that because it's too sweet. That hasn't been the case with me yet. Like, so one of the times that I had it this past week was when we were at Disney and we went to a like burger joint, and I was sitting there. I was like, we've been walking around all day. Like, I've burned tons of calories. I was like, you know what? Why don't I let myself have a like nice Coca-Cola with this burger? And I had it, and it was great. And it wasn't like too much. It just tasted like good old Coca-Cola that I'm used to tasting. But at the same time, I didn't need it really either. Like, it was just something where I was kind of treating myself more than anything. Hello, Angora. Fresh squeezed juice at home. Yeah, at least like if you're gonna get sugar from like something like a fruit juice, it's not bad. Like at least it's a more natural sugar. Obviously, if you drink too much, it can cause some issues, but I think like that's a much healthier alternative. And that's something that I've done before too, is like if I feel like I'm having too much soda and I'm just trying to scale it back some, I obviously turn to water as the primary source, but then I'll try to drink like, like apple juice or orange juice or something like that on the side some if I feel like I have that sugar craving. Because that way I still get it, but it's getting it from a natural source. And you have to be careful. Some fruit drinks are sweetened, unfortunately. So JP, we're actually doing fairly good. We're almost up to 2 million already, and we still have like 9 days left in the event. And I am mostly done with the shop, so rolling for Demeter has helped out a ton. Can almost grab that. Also, chat, is the volume on the music loud, or is that just me? Like, I don't know if it's like blowing y'all's ears out or not. I got a manual cast iron juicer. Nice. It's easy and quick, and also more cost effective. Yeah, I think the only problem is just you have to do a little bit of like manual labor and cleaning. But I mean, like I've been doing the same thing with like cooking and stuff. Even with the girlfriend, so one of her like particular like quirks, and I honestly I don't mind, but like she does not like to use the microwave. Now, microwaves are proven to like not harm humans, but she brings up a valid point of like you don't know what it's doing to like the food. Like it doesn't harm the DNA of a human being, but for all you know, it harms like what the food was made out of, and you're ingesting that into your body, and you don't know what the side effects truly are. So it is what it is. I still use the microwave personally, but she's a little bit more of a skeptic. So she like heats everything in a pan. She definitely uses a lot more pots and pans and dishes because of that. So where there's a lot more like dish cleaning to do after we cook. But it's not a problem. And the trade-off is that your food is always heated well and good and tasty. Like, so I consider it to be like, man, if that's the trade-off is I just have to do a little bit more dishes, who the fuck cares? I'll take the good food, so. Artemita rolls, by the way, she cost me about 600. I wish that she did not take that much currency, but it is what it is. Song seems a bit loud, but otherwise fine. Yeah, it's almost over. Microwave burns the nutrients away. I rarely use mine. Yeah, I usually only use mine in the case of like trying. Wait, frost advisory. Hold on. Let me check this out. God, why do I have to click like 4 things just to get the actual forecast? Ooh, baby. It is getting down to 35 degrees tonight. Fuck me. I don't think it was getting that cold. It just cooks the food from the inside out. Well, the other problem with microwaves is it doesn't heat evenly. As opposed to like if you heat something in a pan, it heats it like all over, right? Like, and obviously with a pan, it can be uneven depending on what you're trying to do. But as long as you're cooking in the middle, usually it is. In the case of a microwave, though, yeah, it's only usually hitting those like outer layers, so you don't get that even cook that you're used to with other stuff. I use microwave to warm my drink up or to make occasional TV dinners. Yeah, I mean, like again, if you're doing something like reheating pizza, it's like it's always been said like, yeah, you should heat that stuff in the oven anyway. So I think the problem with everybody is that obviously most people don't want to have to like wait on an oven. A lot of it's just about time management and like realizing that you maybe need to do these things ahead of time. Heat through radiation aging. The molecules are classic radiant heat. One is quick, the other is quality. Yeah, that's the way I kind of look at it too. So yeah, it's just one of those deals where that's like her own particular quirk, and like I said, I don't have a problem with it. But chat, let's talk. Haha, Kaka, I have your wallet, Kaka. There's a couple things that have been on my mind lately, and I wanted to talk to chat. We haven't gotten to spend as much time together, and that has been because I have been busy streaming. Or sorry, not streaming. It's because I've been busy with the girlfriend. I wish I was able to stream more. And therein lies some of the problem. Now, admittedly, I've been having the time of my life. Things in my relationship are going great, and I am ecstatic for that. But I do think that, like, I owe you guys some explanations, and we maybe need to talk about the future. So, for starters, I think, again, like me going back to dating, I was upfront with you guys. I always told you guys, like, hey, look, if I find someone, that's gonna cut into stream time. And I kind of knew that because naturally, even if you found someone that, like, let's say I was dating like literally another streamer, right? I would still need to spend time with them. And that time can't always come on stream. It has to come off stream. So it had to come from somewhere. And with stream being the predominant thing that I do outside of work, it was naturally going to come from stream. Now, that still doesn't mean that I don't love streaming and I don't want to take it seriously and I don't want to turn it into something more. I've been upfront with you guys about that in the past too. Belmonte, thank you for the resub. I appreciate it, bud. But I've been upfront with you guys too about the desire to, while I do find streaming fun and I do treat it as a hobby, I also try to treat it almost as a job. I try to give it my all. I try to put more into it so that, the possibility of being successful with it is there. Obviously, at certain points, that has looked far more feasible than it has at other points. There have been points where I was streaming to, 400 people a night. Now I'm streaming to roughly about 100 people a night. And that is what that is. I have come to grips with that over the years because I think, one, there are maybe some missteps that I made. But two, I also just recognize the desire of people to kind of expect more and to seek different pastures and opportunities when they arise. So it is what it is. And I've said, I to a degree, it's like I can't control what you guys do. I can only control my end of things. And in knowing that, that gives me at least the strength to continue to keep doing what I'm doing and kind of not mind those metrics. Because, and I think just being truthful with you guys, any streamer that tells you that when their numbers go down that it doesn't make them sad is lying. It does, naturally. It's something that I think streamers will tell you. It's like, oh, I don't pay it any attention. It's like we all pay it attention. It's, you have to be okay with it in order to be able to still keep going and able to still succeed, because otherwise it'll erode at you. It'll eat at you, and you'll sit there and you'll go like, man, everyone's leaving me. What do? I don't know what to do. And as somebody that's been streaming now for over 8 years, I basically have looked at this situation and said, like, hey, look, I've seen people come and go. And in a weird way, unfortunately, it means you can't get super attached to people. And I don't want to make it sound like that parasocial thing that streamers always talk about, because I often find that streamers hide behind the excuse of that and say, like, oh, it's just a parasocial relationship, because they don't want to actually have responsibility and they don't want to get to know people and they want to keep them at arm's length so they can milk them. For me, for the most part, I do try to get to know you guys at least on a regular basis. I could probably be better about it and ask you guys more personal questions, but there is the point where I have to say, like, yes, I am here just to stream at the end of the day. But I definitely like hearing from you guys. I don't sit there and really try to hide anything about myself other than, usually like some more specific personal info. And the reason that I don't do that is just internet safety protocol. I have unfortunately had a stalker already in my streaming career. I don't really want to have others, and it's something that I've kind of tried to over the years, like, look at and say, like, okay, hey, I can give people at least a modicum of info about myself so that they can get to know me without necessarily like trying to like hide anything or not be who I say I am. I definitely see that with a lot of streamers where they try to kind of come up with this fictitious persona. something that they are not, something that they don't want to like actually do, but they're doing it just for the money type deal. We don't even know your mother's maiden name, Cad. Yeah, or my social security number. So it is what it is. But again, like that's. I guess all I'm trying to say is again, it's like the things that you don't know about me are not like because of like some sort of like malicious like intent. It's because of literally just me trying to be a safe human being in today's current day and age, and that's really all it is. Also, I'm sorry because like my nose, just keeps itching. Timba, thank you for the gift to Gotcha Gurus. I appreciate it. And hello, Gotcha Gurus. Hope you're doing good. It's been a weird journey for me over 8 years in that regard. I look back on it fondly in almost every single way. Like I said, I do think I have like some regrets. I think there's some things that I could have done better. I think there's some things that I wish that I had or hadn't done. But at the end of the day, it's like I look at that and I go like, wow, this is amazing. And I'm really honestly like just grateful that I've had people that still continue to come back to stream day after day and watch me. It's something that I try never to take for granted. I know like to at least some degree there's a part of me that like I think wants to, but there's the other part of me that's like, no, like these people don't have to come to your stream. And it's one of the reasons that I'm ecstatic to kind of see the same faces day after day. So it is what it is. We all look back and critique ourselves. Yeah, and I think that's something that, I've definitely had some insults hurled my way over the years, like things that like saying like, oh, he has like a god complex or something. And that sort of thing makes me laugh a little bit because I know I don't. But I always am an introspective enough person that I'll look at that and I'll say like, okay, like, is there some truth to it? Is there some validity? Is there something where like, I need to look back and it's like, am I the asshole? Am I being bad? Can I do better? Can I be a better person type deal? And that's something where I'm not perfect, but I look at that and I say like, well, yeah, they're not like whatever insult got hurled my way is not true. But at the end of the day, it's like it doesn't mean that I didn't cause that person to think that way, that they didn't like, have it out for me for whatever reason. And so I try to ask myself, is like, what could I do to prevent that? What could I do to prevent myself from getting in that situation? Or, just in general, like, what can I do to be nicer to people? So it is something that I do fairly regularly. I don't know why. I think it's just, I am an empathetic person. I always have been. And so when I look at somebody else in like pain or suffering, my first thought is like, how did they end up there? And like, is any of that my fault, and could I have done something differently to get them out of that? And then there is a point where I think now as an adult I have gotten kind of more used to things like that, and I've realized that some of these situations are just because people are malicious themselves, and people definitely have it out for other people. And that's where like my empathy, I've learned to turn it off at points and say like, no, this person's just being an asshole. And there's like, it's not about me, it's all about them. And the statements that they're making are more of a reflection of their own problems and issues. Whoever requested this during a speech ain't shit. It's fine. And again, it's not like we didn't have new Evangelion news the other day, so. But yeah, just I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Also, one of the other things I wanted to mention, because this is something that I know I've talked with you guys about it before, but like for me, as I'm getting older, and I know since he's here in the audience, Mr. Guru's here can attest to this idea, but it's that as like you get older and you have responsibilities and you have family and stuff, it's like you have to watch what you do a little bit. Like I'm no longer the like college age kid that can kind of just do and say what he wants, and it's only going to impact me. I have to consider the imagery, the content and things like that I'm putting forward for not only my stream but like also just in general for anybody else that comes in, anybody that observes it and wants to see it. I have real life people that are asking about stream, and I have not given them my handle. I have not told them like what it is that I stream because I am being protective with it. And part of the reason I'm being protective with it is because I don't want to give them a bad impression, but I also do not want to, like in the case of, for instance, like my nieces and nephews, it's like I don't want them to discover my stream and you know kind of think worse of me or anything like that. So it's protecting them from seeing that sort of content, but also at the same time protecting my reputation and my image. So I look at that and I say, like, yeah, I kind of need to do better about this sort of thing, and uh, that's partially why like things like Aurelia and stuff have gotten toned down. I uh I know chat probably thinks it's my girlfriend, and part of it is that. Like I just want to be clear here that like when you get into a serious relationship with somebody, you don't want to like make them jealous because you're like gooning over some other thing or something like that. Not that I really did in the end, but the point being that I think when I look at that stuff, I kind of say like, yeah, hey, you know, like I care about her, I care about her opinion, and I don't want to subject her to that. So it is what it is. Is that the director from Caldiagurus? It is. But yeah, it's just one of those situations where because of that, I now have found myself as I'm getting older, as I've streamed for longer and longer, that I'm finding myself in situations where it's like I want to reform the stream and I want to start putting content out that I can be proud of, that I can be at least like something I can stand behind and stake my name to it and say like, yeah, that's me, and not have to like really worry about the impression that I'm leaving. Not that like I think to a degree it's like I shouldn't care what people think, but I definitely care about what some people think, especially my family. And again, close personal friends are definitely going to be someone that I care about what they think. So, but beyond that, it's like, yeah, if you know some random chatter comes in and sees my content and doesn't like it, that is what that is. There's nothing I can do about that. And there's a point where I just have to say like, I am who I am, and if they don't like me, to hell with them. But I do believe that there's a point of being considerate to those around you. So that's where, and I've talked about with you guys about this for a while now, that I've considered rebranding and stuff. But today, and part of the reason that this whole discussion's going on so long, I want to let you guys know a little bit of the inner workings here, because I'm sure some things have happened that you guys are like, that's weird. He was doing this for all of this time and suddenly stopped. So let's talk about that. For starters, why am I not a VTuber anymore? I'm not a VTuber for a couple of reasons. For starters, VTubing is an extremely expensive hobby if you want to be successful with it. You'll see all these people that will tell you otherwise, and they'll say like, oh no, you can get started VTubing with just like a PNG and stuff. It's like, yes, you can. You can get started that way, but you're not going to reach the upper echelons without investing a lot of money. So that is the thing. And I did invest quite a bit of money, thousands of dollars. And I was willing to do that with the express understanding that this would afford me more adaptability, more capability when it comes to content and being able to do multiple things. Not that I had ever intended to completely give up my face cam streams, but that in general, you know, I felt like, hey, I was getting older and that was maybe something that might be a good idea, is to switch over to a virtual avatar. Since then, I've come to realize, like, one, that's kind of foolish, and that I should just be proud of who I am and my age, and I don't really care about that, because that is frankly how I was raised anyways. Was like, I mean, hey, you know, I'm not special in any way that anyone should actually care about, but I myself as a unique individual am special, and that I should be proud of who I am. And so kind of going against that grain and doing VTuber stuff was not the right idea, I think. Um, Beyond that, some of the other considerations were that I have encountered quite a bit of drama in the VTuber community. I have seen a ton of drama in the VTuber community, and some of that drama is just something that I want no part of. Um, I have seen, and I'm not saying every VTuber is this way. I actually know some really good, really awesome VTubers, okay? But some of the worst streaming drama I have ever seen has occurred in the VTubing community. And it's something where it's almost like there's a whole nother level to that stuff due to the anonymity that VTubing provides. And I don't think that's a good thing to a degree. I'm not saying everybody needs to like out themselves and who they really are, but I look at that and I say like, hey, that's not good and people got to be better about how they treat each other type deal. And I just don't really want to be a part of that. So, but if I'm being brutally honest here, one of the chief reasons that I stopped VTubing is also because I had a little bit of a falling out with the two people that worked on my content. And I'm not gonna like name names, but you guys know you know. And all I'm gonna say is that like basically the relationships there got strained and I no longer associate with those people because not that there was anything I did, as far as I can tell, just that kind of got ostracized. And I'm not somebody that's going to sit there and keep a toxic relationship going. If I feel like someone's being toxic towards me, I'm just going to cut it out. That's just kind of the way I've always been. So I looked at that and I said, like, I spent all this money. I don't really want to spend all this money again. And so I just stopped. That's honest to God the truth. On top of some of the other factors of just realizing I didn't really need to do it, and I didn't really like the community in that regard. So I just kind of went back to being myself. But let's see, taking a look at what's next on the list. As to why we toned down Aurelia, I already kind of talked about that. That like a little bit too sexual in that regard. Something that like I kind of wanted to tone down, wanted to make sure that that was the thing. Also because I know like it's not brand friendly in terms of like getting sponsors and stuff. It doesn't necessarily make people want to like tune in and watch me. So that was something that I looked at and I said like, yeah, we need to tone this down. Plus, my girlfriend did express at least some concerns. She is fine with Aurelia overall, but you know, I looked at that and I'm like, yeah, she's got points, and this is something that I really should consider. You know, especially with regards to, as we had mentioned before, like, you know, family and friends. Like, I don't want to have to like feel like I have to hide stream from them because I don't feel confident in what I'm putting out there into the world. So it is what it is. Perspective changes as we get older. Yeah. Yeah. And it's something that like I don't consider myself to be like a monolith that can never change. I am somebody that I do constantly reevaluate myself and I look at that. Now, with respect to content, and like producing stuff for YouTube, I got there was a point where I was like producing content really quickly. Um, I kind of stopped, partially due to the fact that the algorithm, well, it definitely favors like consistency and almost daily uploads. There's a point where you could say like people just don't tune in and watch every day, and if you're trying to sit there and spam out like videos every single day, you don't produce quality content, and if you don't produce quality content, nobody really wants to watch. So that is what that is. I've talked about this before, but on the YouTube side of things, and this is no fault towards any YouTube watchers that are watching, but like I've definitely noticed that on the YouTube side of things that it is very difficult to succeed in FGO at this point. That even with the vast breadth of knowledge that I have, that all I can do is make quality and informative videos because I'm never going to be the first person to post anything on any subject. And that is because I have a life. I work a job. I have a girlfriend. I usually can't get live until later in the day. And as a result, I'm never going to beat the person that has no life and stays up till 4 a.m. and immediately at 4:01 is posting the content from whatever thing. So it is what that is. I think in other, how should I put it, in other like categories and genres and other games, there is much more of a like idea that when you post a video, people are going to absolutely flock to the first video, but they're also going to watch quality videos. And I don't feel like that's happening with FGO anymore. I truly do not. I feel like the community has at least shrunk to a point where people do not go like after that first initial reaction video, nobody watches anything else. And that's not a good thing. I can blame the community for that, but I really don't. I think ultimately at the end of the day, like I said, it's more of a factor of like the community just kind of shrinking overall, as FGO is a 10-year-old game that is solved. Everybody kind of knows what's going on. And so even when there's a new unit out, and if the new unit does something crazy, it's only that one thing that they do. So the person just needs to know about that one thing. And that's where, like, again, I look at that and I say, like, I don't really blame anybody for that. But when I look at that and I look at those sort of macro forces at play, I just tell myself, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of fighting this uphill battle and the hill is ever increasing and I never get ahead. I never get over that hump. There are points in times where I was doing really good on YouTube. A lot of my old guide videos still are raking in the vast majority of my views. And that's because they're kind of just evergreen content. People need the information and they go back to them and they flock to it. And until that stuff changes, there's not like a need for a new video. So it is what it is. But there's definitely like for making new content for the game, that's difficult. People just don't watch that, or again, like I mentioned before, they watch the first thing. So that has gotten more difficult as I have branched into other content creators' niches, and other content creators have branched into my niches. And so it's become just an ever increasingly difficult battle as every content creator is just trying to carve out fewer and fewer scraps left over. And at the end of the day, I look at that and I say, like, yeah, I mean, that sucks. I'm content to like keep trying in that regard, but ultimately, you kind of know it's a futile effort, especially because like your videos are not producing that much in terms of like actual like revenue. So you're spending hours on either making the video or editing it or like getting the stuff enabled on it, but you're not making very much money, and the amount of time and effort you're putting in relative to the amount of money you're getting back out makes it not really worth it. So you're either doing it for the love of the love of the game, quite literally, or you're doing it purely for like egotistical reasons at that point. And I know for me, like I've done it out of almost obligation and love for a long time. Definitely not for the monetary side of it. So that is what that was. Now with that in mind, I did want to say that I have had a recent development here. And this recent development is one of the reasons that we're going to be making some changes to stream and content in general. But it is not the sole reason. It is not really even the reason at all that the changes are getting made. It is more of an expedition of the need to make the change. And that change is, again, as you guys know, Okayist has been my editor for a long time. He's kind of been wanting to be done for a while, and just full disclosure here, Okayist has been getting paid for me the whole time. I basically knew that I could not pay an editor the normal rate of what an editor would expect, and he's kind of been doing a lot of it out of kindness and also out of, learning on his own end. But he got to a point where I think he felt like he was not learning very much anymore, and that we weren't really able to produce content enough to make enough money to really sustain what he was kind of looking to do, especially for somebody that's trying to make their livelihood off of editing. That's not going to be a thing. So what I had been doing was I had been splitting the profits from the YouTube channel 50-50 with him. as a means to bolster it, because I could not really afford to sit there and pay him on a per video basis, particularly for videos that, frankly speaking, guys, my videos are only getting like 500 views at this point. So it is what it is. But when you see something like that, it's like, yeah, I can't afford to pay an editor to make a video that only gets 500 views. You can, short term, pay that sort of thing. But long term, it has to be that you're achieving growth and that it's eventually going to pay for itself. If that never happens, and with an old aging game, let's be real, guys, that's not going to happen. You have to sit there and tell yourself, like, hey, yeah, that's not going to work. So I came to the idea of, why don't I pay him half of all of my earnings from YouTube? So that includes the views that even my old videos are getting. And as a result, he was getting a lot more money thanks to that. I'm not going to say he was necessarily getting paid the amount that he would like, but he was at least getting paid more than I probably could have offered otherwise. But he kind of, like I said, kind of wanted to be done. And I had talked with him a little bit and saying, like, hey, we're going to change some stuff. But then he kind of wanted more money. He wanted to be paid more on a per video basis. And like I said, I really just don't have the money to actually pay an editor like that. So I could not do that. And I basically had to let him go. And so as a result, I currently have no editor once again. That's where, again, this is expediting the need to make some of these changes. With that in mind, what am I going to do for YouTube in the future? I don't know, honestly. My best case scenario is to go back to making content kind of how I had been, which was me doing all of the post work myself and basically me creating single take clips that are completely unedited. And that does work, but it does not make for a very quality production. I apologize for all of that in advance, that there will probably be a regression in any sort of video that I post in the short term, unless I can find somebody that is willing to edit videos for me and actually can do so on a consistent and like regular basis. Because I think that is one of the issues that I have, is I definitely have a little bit of a standard when it comes to editing content. Doesn't mean that a person can't be relatively new, but I require at least a little bit of work ethic and people to, when they say they're going to do something, because I think that is the problem in regards to content creation for that. That if I have an editor that's not going to deliver, if I have an editor that's going to say that they're going to do something and then, just gets busy with other things and doesn't actually care, there's no point in me having that editor. I'd be better off just doing it all myself. And if you're wondering, well, Cad, why don't you edit yourself? Why don't you do these things? Because then I would have no time for content creation. I would have no footage to actually make because I'd be spending all of my time editing, because I don't have a whole lot of free time in the interim really to do any of that. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'm just kind of at that point and problem of I find myself a little bit between a rock and a hard place. And so as a result, I feel like this is the good time. Music's a little loud? Sure. I'll turn it down some. That should help. But so as I look at that, I go like, yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I like FGO wise and content wise, I have no idea. Some of you guys already noticed I have not produced a video for CBC. That's why. The Demeter video was the last video that Okayist had done for me. And while I obviously could record a video for CBC, one, I'm kind of late. And two, let's be honest, not really many people are going to watch because it's Aldea Boys. And that event is literally just go in and farm the nodes and clear the shop. There isn't even usually a like point ladder or anything in an event like that. So that is what that is. Like I said, I don't know what the future holds for me content-wise in that regard. But with that in mind, looking at FGO being a 10-year-old game, a game that I still love, I still enjoy, I'm still someone that's very knowledgeable on, and you guys can always talk to about, I don't have a problem covering FGO. But I also think that if I'm going to make some changes, I feel like there's enough of a crunch on my time that with me now having, you know, a girlfriend demanding my time and me wanting to give that time to her, that if I'm going to spend time on stream, I really want it to be time that I'm going to enjoy and I'm going to cherish. I want it to be something that I can have fun with, even if it costs me viewers. So as I look at that, I say, you know, again, we're at this point where it's like FGO for a while now, I'd say, has not been producing content nearly as fast as it used to. Even playing both servers at the same time, it is difficult to find anything to really make content on for the game. At least nothing that hasn't already been tried or already been done a million times. So I look at that and I say, like, hey, you know, I love this game, but I have covered this game to death and back, and I don't know how much more I can actually, like, get out of the game's coverage. I don't know how much more content I can actually make. And I say that. If I look at it, can I make more content? Yeah, I absolutely have some ideas still. There's still some things that I can do. And there's still some things I may still do. Okay? But I think this is a healthy point, a healthy time to take a step back. To say, FGO, I love you, but maybe it's time that I don't cover you every day. Maybe it's time that I hit you once a week or something like that. And I instead start to stream other content. Even if nothing comes of it, I want to at least be able to say that I tried. I want to at least be able to say that I put myself out there and that I gave it my all. Because right now, I can't say that. I will admit to you guys that as much as I love this game, I have always felt hamstrung a little bit by it. And that is partially due to the fact that I've noticed that the content schedule is perfectly designed in a way to make it so that, like, right as you would finally have time to do some other things or to check out some other, like, cool new game or something that came out, that's right when they finally drop their update. And then I end up having to go right back, and then I have all these people that are like, hey, Cad, did you see this? Hey, Cad, did you play that? Hey, Cad, have you done this? No, I haven't, because I haven't had the time. And that's where I'm looking at that, and I'm like, yeah, I just need to not let a game dictate my schedule anymore. I need to dictate my schedule and hit the games as I want to. And I think that's where it's like, I'm going to say I'm not done with FGO, and I love this game. I will continue to stream this game from time to time. But I'm not going to be streaming this game as much, and I'm not going to be making content for it as much. What does that mean for the future for me? I don't know. I honestly can't tell you. I'm sure some people are going to think like, oh, he's done. He doesn't know what he's doing. I don't have those answers. I'm a little bit awash. But like I said, I want it to be something that I can be proud of, that I can say I gave it my all, and that I can say I'm truly enjoying. Because frankly speaking, as much as I enjoy this game is a game that I can complete in 5 to 10 minutes a day. It's not something that I need to be spending 3 to 4 hours a day on. And that's where I look at that and I go like, yeah, I can definitely do better. Okay. So as long as we can hang out, it's all fine. Yeah, absolutely. And I say this again, and I think I've said it many times over the years, but whenever I play variety content, my hope is always that you guys still come to stream. And even if you guys have FGO questions and you want to talk to me about stuff, don't feel like you can't. Don't feel like you can't ask me things. You still can. I love the game, and I'm not going to be like, how dare you ask me FGO content? It's nothing like that. I will say, you will have to understand and be respectful that if I'm doing something on stream right at that moment, I may be busy. I may not see your question. I may not, like, be in a position to answer it right away. But it's one of those things I've always told you guys, like, feel free to, like, keep adding me and, like, ask me again at, like, a later point or something. Like, if it seems like I'm busy, wait 5 minutes and ask again, like, type of deal. So that is what that is. I say do what makes you happy. That's what matters. Yeah. FGO is a game you can play at your own pace. Yeah, it's really funny, right? Like how that was their mantra for years, and yet I will say I do feel like the developers have kind of gotten away from that with some of the more recent systems that they have put in the game, and some of the ways that they're trying almost to keep people like constantly playing. I don't think it's nearly as bad as some of the other games in that regard, so I'm not going to give FGO too much shit because again, I do love the game and I don't think it's actually a bad game. But I look at that and I say, like, yeah, that mantra of play as you have the time and play as you want is not necessarily getting upheld to this day. The less content, more as a hobby. I would like to produce more content, but I think just being realistic, chat, I don't have an editor, and I don't have time to edit myself. So yeah, it's less content at this point. I wish that weren't the case, but unless I can find somebody that wants to volunteer or wants to learn the ropes or is willing to kind of accept the same deal that I just talked about with Okayus, I really don't have the capability of actually like paying someone on a per video basis. And that is the actual problem that I face. So content at that point will come as I have the time and desire to do so, which will make it much more whimsical in that regard. It'll be beholden to my schedule and my capabilities, but it doesn't mean that I won't produce any content. If you're playing FGO, then cool. If it's something else, then also cool. Thank you. And like I said, that's what I really hope. I know there's going to be a lot of people like kind of in the background that are lurking and stuff that are going to go like, oh, he's not going to do FGO as much. I'm just not going to show up on those days. That's cool. And I understand. I am going to say I do get as well that like some of the games that I play will not be for everyone. So I'm not gonna like fault anybody for being like, oh, that game is stupid. I don't like that. Or oh, he's playing like let's use it as an example. He's playing Marvel Rivals again. I don't care about Marvel Rivals, so therefore I'm not gonna watch. It is what it is. I'm gonna say that being said, even if I'm playing a game you guys don't like, feel free to poke your head in every now and then, say hi, ask me how I'm doing, tell me about your day. I really like. I don't mind that sort of thing. So. If it makes you happy, it's what's important, yeah. I think you don't need to make FGO your entire identity. You just need to enjoy what you're playing. Yep. My editing skills are rusty, otherwise I'd help out at least temporarily. Yeah, I mean, I again, I'm gonna open the door to if anybody wants to try, I'm down. I'll give you guys a slice of content and say go ham, you know. It's something where I know I'm the beneficiary of that at the end of the day, so I'm not going to be too nitpicky about like how you do things. I will say if it's not to my taste, if it's not to my level and desires, you know, again, it'll be what it'll be. I may not like repeatedly use people, but I appreciate any sort of help or desire to, regardless. Sprinkles and ginger ale. Yeah, the mods don't get paid. I don't pay my mods because I also don't have the money for that. And to be fair, chat, let's be honest. Part of the reason I have money to do these things because I play a gacha game and I spend money on a gacha game. That is not conducive to being able to like pay an editor or pay a mod. Like, so ideally, it's like if I could actually grow as a streamer in a game that is not a gacha game that requires me to spend money on it. That'd be great. Like, that might actually open up some real possibilities for me. Now, with that being said, let's talk future. Okay. Future here that I can see for myself, because I have actually been workshopping this for better part of like 2 weeks, I want to say. And I'm getting to the point of finalizing. I'm in the like last stages of like, hey, these are the ideas. This is what I want to go with. But we are going to be rebranding. I am still going to be Kadroth. But I think, and I do have approval from all of the currently active members of the team to rebrand the team. We are going to be changing the name. We're not going to be Team Explosion anymore. I'm still trying to finalize what the name will be. I am going to change the Discord. as a result. I'm going to end up changing the roles on the Discord as well. There will probably be some like renaming of things, some changing of artwork and stuff like that. But we are going to end up at least like, how should I put it? Like kind of doing an overhaul of stuff because I want to spruce things up. I want to get the community like more involved, and so one of the themes that I'm looking at for like what we're gonna do and how we're gonna do it is I'm gonna be turning us into a little bit more of a like less of like the focus on Aurelia as things have currently been, and more of a focus on like what if we became like a like Night Order slash like almost like a Warhammer 40k chapter. So we're like a militaristic order. And so we'll have themings involving that, and the community will be able to get a little bit more involved, have a little bit more like fun role play type situations, and things that you guys can actually enjoy. As opposed to like right now, I feel like with the way the branding currently works, you guys don't really get like any interactivity with the community, and it's just all about like you guys actually talking to each other and like having fun. I want to create a environment that is conducive to you guys and like actually, you know, makes you enjoy being here rather than just something that is passive and hands off for you guys. Is Dogecam staying? Did someone try to redeem it? Is that why? Because currently it's not working, and I think that's because I changed my internet over. So I think I need to go in and look at like the settings for what it's on. Because I don't know why, but it's not connecting at the moment, so I'll have to look at that after stream. Cad's Roundtable? No, it's not going to be as on the nose as that, because it was funny, because I was talking to some of the VIP people beforehand about this, and they were saying, like, oh, you're going to do, like, a Knights of the Round Table type of thing. It's like, no, not necessarily. Like, I don't mind vague Arthurian themes, but we're not going to be like, I am King Arthur, and you are, like, blah, 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 you know? Not that. We might be witnessing history here. Remember this moment? Yeah. Like, my goal is to make things fun for you guys. And even if that hurts my numbers, even if that means that like less of you guys are coming to stream, because you're not caring about what I'm playing or what I'm doing, my hope is that I can recenter the community around like, again, like myself and not like FGO. That I can recenter it around like, you know, the community itself and not the community of another game. That way there's a little bit more loyalty to things, there's a little bit more interactivity, a little bit more honestly friendship, and a little bit more of like good times and like cool stuff to be had. Because obviously if I'm not streaming FGO as much, then that's going to mean that there is more opportunity for co-op play, which can also mean more collaborations and stuff like that. But it can also just mean like more fun community nights, things where you know, like, hey, I'm playing this game, why don't y'all hop on, that sort of thing. So that's really what I'm looking to do, is have more interactivity, more ways that I can get to know you guys and have fun with you guys, and you know, ways that we can actually like just chill out, have a blast, and not have to feel like I'm like constantly on the clock, if that makes any sense. Originally came for FGO but stayed for CAD. Yeah, and like I said, I really want to make this clear. It's not like I hate FGO or anything like that. It's a game, guys, that I've covered for 8 years. I obviously have strong opinions on FGO, but it's not bad opinions. It's mostly like, if there's any source of frustration, it's mostly just with the obscurity of what the future for the game holds, and the relative like lack of content pacing and changes to the game overall. But the game itself and where it sits, it's still in a fairly good spot. I still really like it. And if people are like, oh, you're like, what gotcha game should you go play? I'd be like, FGO. I would actually still tell people to this day to play FGO. And I have no problem telling them that. Space Marine 2 stream? Yeah, that might be in the works, right? Like I said, I have a couple of things lined up. Unfortunately, so let me talk to you guys about this week's schedule as well. Okay, because obviously I took off Monday, and that was the day with the girlfriend. Tuesday here tonight, Wednesday, and Thursday I will be streaming. Okay. Friday is girlfriend. This weekend I'm going to be down at her parents' place. I'm going to get to meet her family for the first time. So that's going to be interesting. I'm a little bit worried about that, but that is what that is. Not like because I have actual concerns, but just because it's just general nerves. Okay. But Thursday might be a girlfriend stream. We might get to finish It Takes Two, but that depends on like how fast she can get here after work. So we'll see. Tonight, I already wanted to mix things up. We did play FGO, obviously, but I wanted to mix things up by playing Windrose. That's the demo out for the new pirate survival game that everybody is raving about. It has like over 1 million wish lists, and a ton of people are like really excited about it apparently. So we're gonna check out the demo that they put out. And if we have spare time, we'll go do something else. I don't know, but tomorrow I'm a little bit more unsure of on what I want to do. There's new Monster Hunter content, and there is a growing desire to play something like Helldivers with the boys again. So we'll see if something like that can come to fruition. I guess it depends on who will be around for that. I also wanted to say, unfortunately, because I will not be live Friday, that means I will not get to cover Resident Evil Requiem with you guys this week, but I will cover it with you guys Monday, assuming the game is not hot garbage and gets bad reviews. So that'll definitely be a thing, and I'll want to give you guys my first thoughts and impressions and experience with it. I'm going to be playing the new event tomorrow. I will definitely play it. Like I said, I'm going to continue to play FGO. I'm going to continue to play both servers. Full disclosure. Because if I want to make FGO content at some point in the future, I need to keep doing what I'm doing. So I'm not going to be dropping the game by any stretch of the imagination. Now, that being said, as I move towards more variety content, there may be more variety content getting posted to YouTube. So that will not be great for the YouTube algorithm at first. Full disclosure, I'm sorry about that, but YouTube people, if you guys want to help me out by at least giving the video some views, just leave it on. That'll definitely help me out in the short term, because it's one of those things of like, even if you come in and just click in and click out of the video, while that does give me the view, that shows really poor retention rate. So just like leave the video running, even if you like mute it or something. I don't care. But that definitely helps me out. Luckily, FGO is a game you can take at your own pace. Oh yeah, absolutely. And like, honestly, in that regard, it's easy for me because I've been on the cutting edge of the game for so damn long that like I just stay on the cutting edge. I don't have to worry about it. Would 2 upcoming games and franchises you care about justify getting a new console for them? Is this more of an abstract question, or are you asking because there are specifically 2 games you think I will like? Like, is this more of a question for you? And what is the console? Cooking with CAD stream? That might actually happen. You might actually get a cooking stream with both me and the girlfriend at some point. So, and I do want to say, chat, by the way, I hope you guys like my girlfriend, because my intent is to have her on more, not less. So you guys will actually get, you know, maybe a little bit more IRL content in that regard. Kind of abstract. One game is Fate ER. You mean Samurai Remnant? Or you mean Extra Record? No FOMO nonsense 2 or Deal Call 2 is almost here as well. And you have read it already, or are you hyped to a cat? I have not read it already. I do have an idea of what happens in every FGO story chapter ahead of time, but yeah. I'm definitely hyped for it. Hope you guys like seeing me on stream. Yeah, Steve. Well, maybe we'll get Steve on stream again. And by again, I mean actual Steve. I don't know how many of you guys have actually ever seen Steve stream. Once long ago, he used to do that. You make the meal you made as an Artreya Catalyst on stream. I have made that meal for the girlfriend already. It did not turn out well. To be fair, it's because most of the time when I make that meal, I do an abbreviated version. I tried to make the full version for her, and I hadn't done it in years, and I fucked it up. So I could have done better, but it is what it is. Cheaper than 2 coffees? Yes. If you do cooking streams, I volunteer to edit, and I'll charge only 2 Starbucks coffees. Wait, hold on. 2 Starbucks coffees is really expensive. Like, that's like $11. Is this a per video basis? Like, that's a lot. Time for meal redemption then? Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to talk to you guys, but they announced Mihoyo movie finally. Like UFO Table's actually getting off their ass and doing something other than Demon Slayer. Actually insane. So I'm excited for that. Gonna be cinema for sure. Absolutely. Cooking for 2 is easier than cooking for 1. Oh my god. So we are a fairly well-oiled machine when we cook together, but I can only imagine what being on stream would do to that. Oh, will you cover OC2 on stream? That's a good question. Like, will I actually sit down and read it with you guys on stream? I don't want to say no, but I actually won't commit to that right now. Like, I won't affirmatively say yes, just because I want to remain flexible. I mean, there won't be Demon Slayer table anymore? Yeah. Like, at bare minimum, we can have a discussion on it, and I can talk about what I liked about it type deal. But I don't know if I'll end up, like, sitting down for the multiple days of stream that would take. But, you know, I think that's another thing, too, is, like, if there's still enough demand, I don't mind it. Back to milking old reliable, yeah. Most cups cost $7. $6 or $7. It is what it is. I'm sorry, chat. Sometimes I just have to. They haven't yet confirmed a release date for Extra Record, right? I don't remember if they did. Let me double check. Spring 2026 is the stated AI overview. But keep in mind, chat, that that can mean things like, I don't know, like as late as like May or June. So don't expect that that means it's right around the corner. We do have quite a bit of good games coming out here though in the next like month or so. Just check Forza Horizon 6 when it comes out in May. I've never played any of the Forza games. One of my buddies is a huge racing fan though. If I wanted to, he could absolutely give me the lowdown on that. Already haunted by that number at work? Are you a teacher? It's better than nothing, yeah. Googling how to refund a Prime sub. Damn. I mean, like I said, just chat. Full disclosure, I know I'm going to lose some people. I know I'm going to lose money doing this. I'm sorry, but not sorry. Like, I wanna be happy. I wanna, like, have a fun community that's, like, talkative, like, having a blast themselves. It's really all I want. Like, and I also want to be able to play games that, you know, I don't normally get to check out because I'm busy constantly covering FGO. So I promise we'll live. Oh, everyone will live. I just hope that everyone would stay. I know that's foolhardy though. Too many error codes on machines are that number, and too many of us are terminally online. It's your time and your stream. I know. But I also don't want to feel like I'm letting people down, even though I know to a degree I am. I don't know what this means for like bigger guide content like the lotto guides either, chat. I'm sorry. I know I've talked with Avalon about it. Avalon's still on board to continue producing stuff, but I don't know if he'll, want to do that infinitely. I'm not going to like put pressure on him to do so. Which, to be fair, Avalon has always helped out of the kindness of his heart, because a lot of it's stuff he would be doing anyways, just for his own curiosity. And I think he just kind of, wants to help other people. So always appreciated that about him. Can't wait for the Wolverine game. Yeah, I saw they actually announced the release date. So just as a brief aside, chat, I did want to quickly discuss the Xbox news, because we haven't really talked about that. So we had the Twitch support news, which I told you was like, it's really nothing. They're not doing anything. It's just a slap on the wrist, and they're changing how they handle stuff. But ultimately, it's not a big deal. Discord is basically delaying their age verification. So let's switch screens here just so chat can see. Discord is going back to basically delaying it until the second half of 2026. They've dropped Persona entirely because Persona got hacked, and it got revealed. This is probably the real reason. It got revealed that Persona actually was like taking the stuff off your device, even though they claimed that it was entirely on your device at first. Like, Discord got caught in a lie. That's part of the reason that they fired Persona. But now they're saying that it's going to stay on your device, which I don't believe them, but whatever it is. It says coming soon, no need to age gate for heavy topics, politics, or spoilers, separate from 18 plus channels. So I didn't realize you needed to do this anyways. Because obviously there's NSFW content that you need to do. But like the heavy topics, politics, or spoilers, our spoiler chat doesn't require 18 plus. So I don't know why the fuck that's a thing. Like, that, if they made that change, they never announced it to everybody else. Most users are unaffected. So there's going to say 90% plus won't need to do anything. No ID face scan for most. Auto verification via non-invasive signals. Account age, activity without message reading. I don't know how they plan to hit activity without message reading. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, what are they reading? Other than data then at that point that they probably shouldn't have. So Discord is like not doing great here. More verification options, adding alternatives like credit card verification for manual checks. Hey, bro, just give us your credit card info. Do they not understand that people just don't want to give them their data, period? Like I have multiple people in VIP that have said that if Discord actually makes this foolproof and there's no way around it, that they will stop using Discord. That's how strongly they feel about not having their anonymity like taken away from them on the internet. And I don't blame them. Like, that is a really dumb thing. And I'm going to just go ahead and say this, and I think you are morally correct for any time a third party that is not your government wants your identification. You're morally correct to give them wrong info. Like, if they want your personal data, like your image, your driver's license, all of that stuff, no, fuck them. Use AI, use a video game, do some way to like get around it. I don't think that stuff has any business being in their hands at all. And again, they're gonna say it's like, well, it's entirely on your device, CAD. They're not gonna do that. Yeah, they're gonna fucking do it. Refuse verification, account safe. You keep your account, servers, and friends. You only lose access to age-restricted NSFW content. No bans. And yet they even said that this was the case. So yes, this is a good change, but you see why people got angry at them. Oh, you refuse? Well, now you're going to lose access to any sort of heavy topics, politics, or spoilers. YouTube has been sneaking this in as well. YouTube's been a lot better. And to be fair, this is the way that like Twitter did this a while back. And this is the way you do it. You look at account age and you look at like what a person's posting and stuff like that. And it's like, it's going to tell you real quick whether or not the person is underage. And odds are they're not. Like, I say this time and time again, but ultimately, at the end of the day, this is not about protecting children. This is about destroying anonymity on the internet and being able to hold people responsible. That's really all it is. The Wolverine game, as we mentioned, if it will load, there you go, got a launch on September 15th of 2026 now. So they have confirmed that it's gotten an actual release date. And then there was a article that came out from The Verge. So for those of you guys that have been under a rock for the last like week or so, Phil Spencer, the face of Xbox, got fired. Sarah Bond, the actual CEO of Xbox, stepped down. And nobody really knows why. Just that at the end of the day, obviously, they have not done well for the brand. Xbox's brand is down the shitter. I don't want to like trigger any Xbox fanboys because I myself have multiple Xbox consoles. But I say this as Xbox not doing great. Okay? I think anybody would tell you this, including Xbox fans. So, a lot of people had wondered why this hadn't already happened years ago. But I think when I look at this, I say, like, yeah, it's kind of odd that it's happening now. Because they let Xbox basically get run into the ground by these people. They let them shutter studios. They let them come up with stupid harebrained ideas that never panned out. They let them tell lie after lie after lie and just stew in it. And now they fire them. Now they get rid of them. What is interesting about this is that, you know, say what you want about Phil Spencer, but Phil Spencer was a gamer. So I do think Phil Spencer actually cared. I do think he wanted to do right by them, but I think ultimately the evil forces at Microsoft that are behind the scenes there were pulling his strings, and he had no real agency at the end of the day. I think he just was the mouthpiece that got up there and told the people what they want. And we'll get back to that in a second, but Sarah Bond, on the other hand, seemed like just the most insufferable woman that you could ever meet. Again, and we're hearing about that pretty much now after the fact, as they're reporting that she is basically like everybody's happy that she's gone, which is kind of not a good sign, right? Like where she steps down, everyone's like, oh, thank God. The Xbox Anywhere debacle was Sarah Bond's plan. She apparently was very privately pushing like for cloud gaming and all this stuff, which, you know, I've talked with people at length that think that cloud gaming could be a thing eventually, but like obviously right now the infrastructure is not there for it. Everybody thinks that like this sort of thing is a scam currently, and they know it. And Xbox has been pushing for it for years, and apparently a lot of this is Sarah Bond that was pushing for it. Apparently this Xbox ad was her idea and offended many internally. So it's just not a good show for her. So again, people are happy that she's gone and has resigned. That being said, there's been a little bit of debacle about the new CEO, which I'm trying to remember what her name is. Asha Shar is the new CEO. Now, this is really interesting. And obviously I have this on screen here, but let's not talk about it just yet. Asha Shar comes over from running the AI side of Microsoft, so things like AI Copilot and stuff like that. And they put her in charge of Xbox now as a result. And her very first comments are these. So basically, she says, "Dear team, today I begin my role as the CEO of Microsoft Gaming. I feel two things at once: humility and urgency. Humility because this team has built something extraordinary over decades. Urgency because gaming is in a period of rapid change and we need to move with clarity and conviction. I'm stepping into work shaped by generations of artists, engineers, designers, writers, musicians, operators, and more who create worlds that have brought joy and deep personal meaning to hundreds of millions of players. The level of craft here is exceptional and is amplified by Xbox, which was founded in the belief that the power of games connect people and push the industry forward." Chat, I have barely read the preamble here, and we've already spotted a lie. It was founded in the belief that the power of games connect people and push the industry forward? No, it fucking wasn't. It was founded because Microsoft wanted to get into the most lucrative entertainment industry on the planet. That is the only reason. Don't give us this bullshit. And I'm not going to blame them for that, but here you go, okay? It's more of a, and this is why I talked about it with Phil Spencer there, Xbox has always been about putting someone out there that's going to say what the gamers want to hear, but not what it actually is going on, okay? So she thanks Phil for his leadership and to every studio, platform, and operations team that built this foundation. I mean, I kind of get this, but again, they've killed off so many of the studios themselves, so it is what it is, and so many of the people that built that foundation. We are the stewards of some of the most loved stories and characters in entertainment. No, you're not. You have Halo. Master Chief is beloved. That's it. Give me another one. I don't really think you have one. Gears? You guys squandered Gears for years. Like, if we look at these options, like, no, you really don't have some of the most loved stories and characters in entertainment. They're not exclusive to you, and that was the problem. That's why they ditched the whole exclusivity thing. Bring players and creators together around the fun and community of gaming in entirely new ways. My first job is simple: understand what makes this work and protect it. That starts with 3 commitments. First, great games. Everything begins here. We must have great games beloved by players before we do anything. Unforgettable characters, stories that will make us feel innovative gameplay and creative excellence. We will empower our studios, invest in iconic franchises, and back bold new ideas. We will take risks. We will enter new categories and markets where we can add real value grounded in what players care about most. Yeah. I want you to take this. I want you to crumple it into a ball, and I want you to burn it, because none of this is true. This entire thing, assume the exact opposite. So, first, shit games. Everything ends here. We must have shit games hated by players before we do anything. Forgettable characters, stories that make us hate, uninspiring gameplay. What's the opposite of excellence? Just trying to think of a good word here. But like again, I read this in shitification. Yeah, creative and shitification. We will depower our studios, divest in iconic franchises, and give up on bold new ideas. Doesn't that sound more like what's been happening at Xbox if I read it that way? If I read it the exact opposite, it tells the actual story. We won't take risks. We won't enter new categories and markets where we can add real value, grounded in what players care about most. And why do we know this? Because we know that they spent $70 billion, $70 billion on the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, okay? They've shuttered so many iconic studios already. And they want you to believe that now they're going to start spending money again? No, they're not. They're going to retract. They're not going to start all of a sudden spending out the wazoo. That's what they were doing. And it didn't work. They're not going to throw more. I promoted Matt Booty in honor of this commitment. He understands the craft and challenges of building great games. Honestly, Matt Booty's one of the only people there that probably remains, that still has a soul. Has led teams that deliver award-winning work and has earned the trust of game developers across the industry. Second, the return of Xbox. We will recommit to our core Xbox fans and players, those who have invested with us for the past 25 years, and to the developers who build across expansive universes and experiences that are embraced by players across the world. No, you won't. We will celebrate our roots with a renewed commitment to Xbox, starting with console, which has shaped who we are. It connects us to the players and fans who invest in Xbox, and to the developers who build ambitious experiences for us. Chat, have you guys been following any tech news lately? Because if you have, you would know that there is a current run on chips and RAM, and that Nintendo and Sony are both delaying their consoles. So when she says she's going to deliver a new console, maybe eventually. But by all accounts, everybody's having to delay, and Microsoft will absolutely join that party.
So even if they do produce a new Xbox, it's not going to be till at least 2027. At least. Gaming now lives across devices, not within the limits of any single piece of hardware. I think gaming exists in PC right now mostly, but sure, yeah, let's go with that. There's expand across PC, mobile, and cloud. See, this is the problem. They're still pushing the cloud. They're still desperate for the cloud. This tells me that behind the scenes, I think all of this is like the higher ups plan. And we're just seeing the lower people that are put in charge of Xbox. And they are just the mouthpiece for the secret council behind the scenes that's making all these decisions. By secret council, I mean probably Microsoft's actual board. Xbox should feel seamless, instant, and worthy of the communities we serve. We will break down barriers so developers can build once and reach players everywhere without compromise. Was this written with AI? Like, I'm actually beginning to wonder. Because starting with console, and we will break down barriers so developers can build once and reach players everywhere without compromise. What the fuck is once doing here? Third, future of play. We are witnessing the reinvention of play. No, we're not. We're, if anything, the industry is witnessing a return to basics. You're witnessing a desire of gaming to get rid of monetization and FOMO and to return back to old school methodologies that make games fun. You are not witnessing a reinvention. You're witnessing regression, and it's good in this case. To meet the moment, we will invent new business models and new ways to play by leaning into what we already have. Chat, I wanna point something out. Okay? Have you heard of this thing called hubris? Hubris is excessive pride, overwhelming and over demanding ego. Why do I say that this is hubris? Well, chat, this message is to you, the gamers, the members of the community of Xbox. Do you care about new business models? No, you fucking don't. And that's where this is a problem. Because we can't not talk about it. We are so excited to push our new business models on people. So you could maybe say, well, this is probably for the investors and such. To a degree, they may be right. But at the end of the day, I look at this and I say, like, you really didn't need to put this in. And the fact that you did just tells me that this is all this is actually about. This is the curtain slipping for just a moment. This is, we're going to invent new ways to milk you. In the words of Mark Plyer, I can milk. New ways to play by leaning into what we already have. Iconic teams, characters, and worlds that people love. But we will not treat those worlds as static IPs to milk and monetize. Yeah, remember what I said about reading this the opposite way? But we will treat those worlds as static IPs to milk and monetize. We will build a shared platform and tools that empower developers and players to create and share their own stories. As monetization and AI evolve, again, why are you mentioning this? Don't mention either of these things at all. One of the big criticisms is that she is the CEO of Microsoft's AI branch and has not gamed a day in her life. And you bring up monetization, which clearly corporate cares about, and AI, which clearly corporate cares about, when you're talking to the community. You should have left this out. As monetization and AI evolve and influence this future, we will not chase short-term efficiency or flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop. Remember, chat, read it the opposite. We will chase short-term efficiency and flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop. Games are and always will be art crafted by humans and created with the most innovative technology provided to us. So she says we're not going to do AI slop, but she literally just got done talking about the evolution of AI and says they're going to use the most innovative technology. It's like she contradicted herself within the same damn paragraph. The next 25 years belong to the teams who dare to build something surprising, something no one else is willing to. Also, what? Why the next 25 years? Do you think you're going to be CEO for 25 years? Are you thinking like, oh, well, now we're in 2026, so now it's 2026 to 2050? Like, the fuck is this? No. Something no one else is willing to try, and have the patience to see it through. We have done this before, and I am here to help us do it again. I want to return to the renegade spirit that built Xbox in the first place. So she is right about this. The renegade spirit that built Xbox in the first place was the developers that worked on Xbox, that when Bill Gates told them they had to build it off of Microsoft's actual Windows architecture, they basically snuck in and stole a key for Linux, if I remember correctly, and built the architecture instead off of that, which infuriated Bill Gates. And he made sure that the 360 and onward were built with the Windows architecture instead. Yes, it was built with some renegade spirit. And that was quickly snuffed out by Xbox. It will require us to relentlessly question everything, revisit processes, protect what works, and be brave enough to change what does not. Thank you for welcoming me into this journey. Honestly, if we take it at face value, it's a very, good statement. I just don't believe it. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. And again, part of the reason why, as we mentioned before, is that she got caught. They apparently tried to give her gaming cred by revealing what her actual gamer tag and account was. And they got caught fabricating stuff because they proved that the account was a month old and that all of the achievements that it had were literally multiple of them happened on the same day. So it's all fake. Microsoft is just sitting there trying to spin the new CEO so that you'll like her. And they know it's all a lie. So, according to Jez Corden, Microsoft is reportedly considering adding World of Warcraft, Fallout First, and Minecraft Realms to Game Pass Ultimate to increase the value following their $30 price hike that has everybody not doing Game Pass anymore. Also, I believe, where was it? I don't know. There was another thing that I saw, but I can't find it anymore. But anyways, yeah, this whole Xbox situation's not good. Oh, I think it was the revelation that apparently Microsoft is, at least according to one of the industry experts, he thinks that Microsoft is going to shutter Xbox and that she is instead meant to merely usher it into kind of its twilight and to kill it off. So I wouldn't be surprised by that, honestly. I don't think that's what they're actually going to do. I think they'll continue to try, but I wouldn't be surprised if she is designed to scale Xbox back. And if she is, that sucks. Sucks for Xbox fans. Sucks for people that are fans of their games. It basically is just not what anyone wanted. And it's all due to greed and mismanagement and not listening to their community. Yeah, thank you for the 55 hacks. I hope you had a good one. Could have used an account that's long gone and have it the same name with a bunch of achievements to get away with it. Yeah, that's... I really don't know why they didn't just do something like that, where they just changed what it was. I feel like that would have been better for them. Okay. Chat, I already mentioned this before. We're going to check out Windrose. As it is a new game that's apparently attracted a lot of people. It's gotten a lot of people checking it out because it is a pirate game. And it is a little bit of a survival game, but it's got people actively like wanting to play because they've kind of seemingly gotten the formula really good. So this is the character creation. You've got a lot of things that you can adjust. I was tooling around with this right before stream just a little bit. I think one of my biggest complaints is that, honestly, like, there's not a whole lot of tweaking you can do with the face. We're gonna kind of go, like, there, because I don't want her to be super buff, but I also don't want her to be a twig. You don't have a whole lot that you can do in terms of, like, what the heck? Oh, she just has, like... I guess that's like a tattoo. Okay. Actually, hold on. I feel like this looks... It, like, again, I don't feel like you can actually tweak the face very much. You kind of just got to get a face that looks good. And I guess it's this one is the one that looks the best. There we go. I honestly don't feel like this is the best character creator I've ever seen. Granted, it's better than Sea of Thieves, which has no actual character creator. So, I can at least give them credit for making a pirate game that has a character creator in it. Okay, let's make sure she has no tattoos. Again, you can have, like, tattoos on your arm and stuff. And I'll actually kill Madonna off there so you guys aren't having to listen to that. Do I want to, like... See, it's weird. I guess that's just, like, her veins. I'm just surprised that I can see that. Like, I can give her a back tattoo. It's definitely weird, though, because, like, when you look at the pattern, that's absolutely not... Like, I clicked the flower one, and this one doesn't look like it at all. This one's decently similar, but it's guns instead of blades. And this one doesn't have, like, the serpent or the birds on it. Instead, it has shuriken and a skull. So I'm kind of wondering what the heck they're doing. You can, I think, control the color. No, it is just, yeah, simple. We'll leave it at that. I don't really care for tattoos much, but again, you guys can see I'm just trying to show off a little bit of the capabilities. You can have eyeliner. Usually like at least a little bit of eyeshadow on a character. Lips. You can control the, like, lip color. Dear God, that looks like some Joker level lip color. Unfortunately, I often find in games that going with no makeup just actually looks the best. And you can see you've got blush. You can do freckles if you want. Smudges. We're not going to do that. I call it Aurelia, and we're just gonna go. Okay. And again, this is a free demo, so it is what it is. Let's see. I haven't gotten to look at any of these settings. I hope the game volume is not, like, too bright for you guys. At least limit it to, like, 120. Everything's epic or high. Why not? Let's run it all on epic, see what happens. Don't have VSync on. I'm gonna turn motion blur off, because fuck that. And we'll apply with the VSync on. Okay. Actually, yeah, so gameplay doesn't really have anything. Wait, show gameplay statistics? Oh, so there's my FPS and stuff. And the seed as well. So let's play. Solo offline. I can host a game. I can connect to a server. Let's just play solo offline for right now. Choose world to play. Okay. Calm waters, an easy voyage. High seas, an intended experience. Storm's edge, sea shows no mercy. Captain's choice. Set the rules of the adventure. Interesting. So I actually like this, that they give you options here, because that's not something that Conan does. You have to basically mod the game in order to make it more difficult. But let's play as it's intended. World nickname. If any player on the server completes a quest marked as a co-op quest, it auto-completes for all players who currently have it active. Oh, that's actually really nice. I mean, it could be bad, though, if you get, like, to a point where, again, like, basically people are completing stuff and rushing ahead and you never get to experience it or seeing it, but it is what it is. Hey, what's up, Arch? The year of 1700, the seas tremble with the roar of cannons and turn red from blood. Edward Teach Blackbeard proclaims himself king of the pirates of the West Indies. Rumors are spreading that he struck a bargain with the devil himself and commands the dead. After crushing the British fleet, Teach turns his forces towards Tortuga, the last bastion of freedom and independence in the Caribbean. Not looking for trouble, and with a couple of other poor souls in tow, try to slip your fast ship through the blockade ring. But just a few days later, you wake up in your cabin and realize you're under attack. You wake up on the cabin floor to the clash of sabers, your head is pounding, your vision swims. There's a big lump on the back of your head. Last thing you remember is the deck lurching under your feet as cannonballs hit the hull. Damn, your ship is under attack. You need to get out of the cabin and see what's going on. Okay. Can I loot? Nope. Doesn't look like it's as interactive as like Conan was. Speak to the ship's doctor. Blackbeard's pirates are boarding us. They're everywhere. Half the crew is dead, but some are still fighting. Go help the others. Perhaps you may yet turn the tide. Drink some coffee to rouse myself. Okay, it doesn't look like I can cut through anything else. I can't pick up the dude's weapon. This is very on rails, which, again, it is a thing. Okay. So it looks like right-click allows me to... Okay, control allows me to back up. Alt doesn't do anything. Okay. Uh-oh. That's a little jank. Found the artifact. It really was on the ship. Anchor down my throat. Something's definitely not right with this thing. Get the captain, he'll handle it. Off my ship, you dogs. What is that? Right, aren't you? Consider yourself deposed, Cap. Take the artifact from that filth, it's eating him. Holy Mary, protect us. Devil take it, Captain Richards. Not with your bare hands, you idiots. Throw the bodies overboard. Yeah. So at least it seems like the game's going to have a little bit of a story. Which is always surprising when that happens in a survival game. Healing potions and bandages. Oh, there's perfect block. If you block at the right moment. Wake up on a deserted island. The waves have washed you ashore. You remember the shot searing your chest. The bullet passed clean through, yet there's no trace. The wound has healed as if it never existed. Your body, from your heart to your fingertips, is laced with patterns that shimmer with a cold light. Touching them hurts. You need to figure out where you are and why you're still alive. Okay, so it looks like I can't pick up some of the stuff. I am apparently hungry. Okay. Curios. Broken heirloom medallion. You don't own any recipes. You don't own any notes. You don't own any currencies. Ration. Yeah, definitely got to work on the face of some of these characters, but otherwise I think it's pretty decent. Okay, so I gotta light the bonfire. The bonfire will be at the heart of my camp. Need to pick a good spot with enough space around it for building structures. And I craft. You can see there is a flagship thing there, so eventually you can have a ship. Okay. Can I skin the dodo? Nope. I don't have very much in the way of health. It says it's a bush. Plant fiber. Okay. So this is how you get plant fiber in the game. That's good. That just looks like a trap. Nope. Fuck me. What I get for doing all this before actually getting anything. Okay, well this actually is going to answer... Okay, so I needed to switch to building mode. I didn't see that before. Had the secret killer of dodos? Yes. Okay, I need an axe. Oh my god, he hits hard. So is this what's in this? Yeah, because it's everything I'm holding. Decoration, pure decorations? Take all, take similar. Okay. They definitely need to make a hotkey for take all. Lamp. Fast travel bell. Hell yeah. Weird. I think it's because of my hunger, but I'm getting winded very quickly. Okay, so I can build a bonfire. Press B to enter building mode, and press RMB to select a structure. Build a workbench. Build a tent? I need more wood. Play, okay. Alright, I see what they're doing with this. I like it. Yeah, people were already commenting that it's like Ubisoft spent like 10, like, I actually don't remember. It was something like almost $1 billion. It was like 700 million or something to make the game that that they did, and like this game I'm sure hasn't even like spent like $1 million, and everyone's already excited about it. Kill a board and obtain its hide. Okay, revival points already set. I can make rope, repair kit. We're gonna make a stone axe. Wait, how do I... Huh? I like make a chest. Make a storage basket. I need more wood. Okay, at least got some crab meat from that. I don't know if I can cook these shells. I would imagine I can, but... Okay. Then... That's at 0%, so I guess you gotta fill it with, like, oil. I can make boiled crab. And dodo broth. There needs to be a, like, craft all. So I can at least scale that up. Actually, what is create? Oh, so you can have workers. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. General, thank you for the 78. Appreciate it, my dude. Hope you're having a good one. So, why can I not drag stuff onto my bar again? Yeah, I haven't figured out how to do that. So it looks like there's levels of comfort. And it does not look like I am hungry anymore. Resources discovered. Okay, so that's cool. They at least let you know. A gun room grog. Increases reload speed by 50% for 5 minutes. Okay. Spicy kebab. Maximum health lasts 30 minutes. Tastes like chicken. Huh. So it looks like there's different areas. I wonder, what does it take to build? I need way, way, way more wood. Okay. Was that all I got? Was 2 wood out of that? Okay, that must just have been a, like, bad one. I got way more out of that. I like that you can remove the stumps easily, because in some games that's not a thing. Yeah, see, like, this one also didn't give me jack shit. So maybe it's just that there's, like, a percentage chance. And if you have good gear, it increases the chances. Huh. Okay, so I need... You must build at least 2 fast travel points to use it. Coastline distance requirement not met? Got a doo-doo's trying to kill me. Yeah, I could see them giving better yields. Like Cut a Raisin Dune. Yeah. Stone pickaxe, huh? Woven windows and doors. Do I have to learn it? Or is it just... Okay, so it becomes part of this. Oh, I do like that you could just, like, get some of that stuff out of your inventory. That's such a nice feature. Shelf decoration. Okay, so it just immediately equipped this because I didn't have anything better. Or vitality. Mediocre ballistics. Found in ruins and sold to smugglers. Weird. It's definitely becoming nighttime. Fuck me. Okay. Boar's a bit beefy. So it doesn't look like nighttime has much of an effect on... dude. I can't tell if that's because I'm out of energy or he's just staggering me. The feedback leaves a little to be desired. But I guess maybe I need to, like, backstep? Jesus. Okay, my inventory is, however, full. I'm gonna head back and deposit. That bonfire is like cooking. It doesn't look like there's durability, though, which is really hilarious. Wait, my stone axe is a better weapon than my sword. Fuck. Craft myself new boots. But Wouldn't I need the ability to craft boots? Let's make myself a thing of rope. Didn't do anything. Oh, I see. So it's the one I don't know how I didn't pick up on that before. Am I missing something? Are there tabs? It says craft myself new boots. Maybe I need to build armor and clothes. There you go. Need coarse fabric to make that. How do I make coarse fabric? Okay. Roof required. Well, fuck me. Game didn't say nothing about roofs and floors. So, I mean, the pier takes wood, but it looks like it's so much better. Oh, good. It looks like I got it all back. Maybe because it was fast enough. Okay, so there is snapping. The stone walls would get really expensive real fast. We're gonna go with plant fiber for right now. And I'm sorry, chat, but I can't stand single high. Never have been able to. I know it's not optimal for these sorts of games, but, like, legitimately, it makes me want to kill myself. Oh, that is another boar. Now, do I specifically need a roof? I guess so. There's only 45-degree roofs. Can I just do that? Will that work? It does. Okay, good. I was gonna say, I really hope the game just wants it to be covered and doesn't actually indicate one thing or another. Okay. I has next to no boots. I have torn boots that are 90 defense. These are level 1. Okay, so dodging is the tactic that I need to use. That got me 1, which is not enough to craft any of that shit. So I get 90 defense from each of these. Each of these gets me 100. Which is so damn bad. Mine copper ore in the nearest cave. Sailor backpack, huh? A level 2 station is required. Okay, so the backpack increases the number of slots that I can carry, which is also good. I'm being a pirate? Yes. Huh? I actually kind of like the fact that there's no twigs in this game. I'm not sure what to feel about items having no durability. It's kind of wild to me. Waste rock? Yeah, stamina is a huge issue. I hope there's something you can do to upgrade, like, your maximum stamina capacity. I haven't gotten anybody recruited yet, but this is still just the demo, so we're just trying it out. It's so far it works very similarly to every other like survival game you've ever played. Obviously, each game has its own unique quirks, so there's definitely aspect of that in this. I also can't see worth a dick in here, but we're trying. Looks like there's even more copper in this place. I may as well just farm out as much as it'll let me. Because, like, this is actually kind of insane, and it's probably just for tutorial purposes. With them just giving you all this copper. But it may also be the case that this game has more of a, like, node-based system where for things like ore, you need to find an actual mine of it. which may mean sailing to like other islands. Kind of like you had to do in Valheim, for those of you guys that have played that. I'm just wondering. Hmm. Smelting, furnace, charcoal kiln, copper ore, charcoal wood. So I wonder if it's a case of like you can't move on until you've discovered everything. Okay, I am now arrested. The fuck? Who the hell is Dr. Galen?
You have no idea how often I've had to treat sailors' wounds. Inflicted, I remain at your service.
Can imagine how glad I am to see you, Captain. Oh, so we're the captain, chat. Ship surgeon. How'd you end up here? After the boarding, the pirates dragged me to their camp to stitch the wounds and treat hangovers. Luckily, I managed to commandeer a boat and escape. Make yourself comfortable, but I have a few questions. How'd you manage to escape? Pirate camp was attacked by the drowned. Fight broke out. Borrowed a boat. Got away. You know where we are? Not far from Tortuga, one of the nameless islands used by runaways and smugglers. I doubt the scrap of land is even on the charts. We came here by boat, but it will not get us to Tortuga. The waters are crawling with pirates. They would sink us the moment they spot us. Anything about the markings on my body? How often do you visit brothels? I knew a fellow once. Caught all manner of things there. Once even a wife. Damn. Imagine catching a wife, chat. The worst type of ST. I'm just kidding. I take it they appeared after the pirate attack. Tell me if you feel unwell, even if it's only a bit of dizziness. I don't want to be left alone on this island. Did you see what happened to my ship? But ship to the torch, of course. The idea isn't how to get out of here. Not far from here, I saw a few ships run aground. Some of them still looked usable. Miracles do happen, of course, but without a cup of coffee, I'm hardly capable of them. Pirates took a lot of prisoners, not just me. We need to free them. They can help repair our ship and get us back to civilization. Okay, so I need a bigger boat. So first off, I need a floor. Then I need a furnace, which requires clay for both of these. Good thing I know where clay is. Yep. I do wonder about resources in this game, if they respawn. This is definitely an issue in games like this. Kind of a weird system, almost like Rust, where like where you aim matters. It's not the end of the world though. Fairly intuitive. So much smoke. That's something that, like, while I get this, I think they need to clearly delineate, like, what needs to go inside versus outside, because I couldn't really tell. Okay, I guess it says only usable... Oh, works only outdoors. Okay, never mind. This one's on me. I didn't read. Good job, devs. What the Yeah? Stupid fucking dodo. How does one read? Just a plant? Yes. It's just good to know, because if I had put that indoors and didn't realize it, I would have been screwed. Requires charcoal. So that's the first item that doesn't instant craft. Also good to know. 60... Wait. 60, 100, 104, 144. So it includes items in containers. That is excellent. I love it when a game does stuff like that. Does mean I'm gonna need more wood. Doesn't look like it kills you if you get hit on the head. Expansion map called Lego Speed Champions. Everything is awesome. Oh god. Of course they would. Oh. Coconuts, huh? They definitely need a craft all button, because I can literally just click craft as fast as I can do that. Craft me some dodo broth. Some doo-doo broth. Okay. Okay. There you go. So I can type in. Craft a melee weapon. Cooking a cutting table. Personal weapons and ship fittings. Requires wood. Of course it would. Okay. I got some wood from that. Roof required. There. Gotta make sure it's at least turned the same. Okay. Club, rapier, saber, pistol. I definitely like the speed of the saber. I am willing to bet that the rapier is somehow better, though. We're going to try out the rapier just because it's different. I definitely need another rough hide, which is going to make things rough. But it is what it is. Means we need to find ourselves another boar. Never did empty this out. Had a wooden talisman in it. I'm still kind of like freaked out about the lack of durability. I'm so not used to that on a survival craft game. Okay, I've definitely gotten the combat down a little bit better. And the fact that there are no twigs and they give you wood no matter what you do is kind of insane. Because it just means that you have the same value of like picking up a stick on the way as you do of cutting down a tree. And it's a lot faster to pick up a stick. So it kind of makes me go like, whoa, they kind of need to rebalance that. I need one more. Inventory is full. Aha, it instantly consumes them when you queue it up. That's gonna create some weird inventory issues, but I get it. Saber's like a Saberface CAD? Oh, I know. I'm just trying to, like, test out different weapons. Okay, so I finally leveled up to level 2. All of that just got me to level 1. Holy shit. And I guess it's because I completed a quest. Sewing rack, cutting table. I mean, I already knew lamp and fast travel bow. Bird hunt, buccaneer, and training. So I have to kill 40 boars and 20 doo-doos. So I'm wondering if this is gonna have like durability, and maybe it's just like your starter shit that doesn't, because that would kind of make sense. Like it would kind of track. Yeah, it takes 3 to craft that, so we'll do that. Need nails. How do I craft nails? A shovel. Digging up treasure, leveling ground, or piling up a mound. Ooh, wait. I gotta craft this, chat. I gotta actually see if that's a thing. Oh, there's nails. It needs to automatically put it in your inventory, I feel like, but I kind of understand why they didn't do that. Bandage. Copper bullets, stone bullets. Okay. But I'll let it craft a little bit more. Oh, I can only hold 20. It's kind of shit, but I get it. And now I need tin wood. Half an hour until NA maintenance. Yep. Okay, that gets me that. Now I should finally be able to craft. Storage barrel, wooden chest, and storage crate are literally all the same. Oh, or you could do a storage bale or a storage stack. So they all let you store 28. Fuck, if I had realized that, I would have been crafting those a while ago. They just predominantly use a lot more, like, plant fiber, is why. Did I hear bale? No, he didn't. The thing. Couldn't have been a thing. Damn it. I was spamming right click instead of left click. Yeah, where'd the other dodo go?
The fuck is this thing going? God. Aha! So there's my ship. It looks like you just get a ship. Cat, are you making dodos extinct again? I try. I don't always kill every dodo in existence. When I do, I kill them dead. Beneath a tree marked with a red. Rapier of 1,000 cuts. Piastre. Great healing potion. So this is 100 attack, item level 1. It's B. I don't know what that thing is. Maybe it's Dex? Oh, toggle stat screen. Precision. But how do I raise my stats? Because I have 9 vitality. But I definitely like that you can shape land. That's going to help things out. Okay, so it's bleeding? Yo. Eat potato.
It's weird though, because it doesn't say that this. Oh wait, dealing damage applies bleeding, stacks up to 5 times. Each stack deals 40 damage a second. What? What? That is insane. Oh, I need gunpowder, that's why. It's weird because I haven't really figured out what to do with dodo eggs. Okay, so it's way harder to aim with a rapier, but dear God, like the capability that this provides. Okay. He just never stopped. I couldn't get him to, like, leash on someone else, so... Okay. Now I know. Knowing is half the battle. The other half is extreme violence. As we all learned on G.I. Joe. So you also get to keep your weapons, which is just insane. So, like... I guess dying only lose you your harvestable resources. Which also means that, like... I don't know that I care too much about, like backtracking. Like, yeah, I even kept my ammo. With literally just harvested stuff. That's kind of nutty. Ow! What? Bro! I need to block and not try to dodge. The problem with, like, turning right now, I wonder if there's, like, a lock-on. Is there a lock-on? Target lock T. There you go. I was gonna say, it's like there's gotta be one. Because I noticed, like, the spin attack there with your rapier is, like, missing. It just... Oh. Cayenne pepper. Hey, yo. Another item I have found on the island. Whatever it is, I haven't found whatever the last key discovery is, and there's still apparently a couple of resources I have not stumbled across. Okay, now... There you go. We learned something. I get all of my shit back. I do need that rough hide. Undead Essence. Alchemy. Rare. I'm gonna drop the scallop shells because they're just literally infinite. I think I need the dodo head. Damn. Yeah, they definitely need to do like pocket crafting like for bandages and stuff. That is kind of an annoying aspect, so now I have to go out and come back. Which just sucks because it's basically on the other side of the island. I'm new to the game. Do you have any recommendations, DPS and FGO? Well, a really good single target will be coming in the form of... Hold on. In the form... Oh. Okay. Or I just won't lock on and we'll die. In the form of both Joan of Arc, aka Jalter, and the Count of Monte Cristo, aka King of the Cavern. Both of them are going to be really decent options for a single target. They're both Avengers, which makes them an extra class, so they're kind of non-essential, but they both hit like Mac trucks. King of the Cavern especially can stun people with his Noble Phantasm, which does make him very, very effective at what he does. And then, honestly, depending on if you wait, you could probably manage to find a banner for Castoria Berserker or Seal this year. Seal's a new unit. Castoria Berserker is from last year's summer event. Wait, I ran all the way back here. Where was my other death? Oh, so it does keep track of multiple deaths. That's interesting. Draco rerun? Yeah, we'll also get a rerun for Draco. She's really solid. Game, can you not hold me hostage to a pig? Thank you. But does that answer your question? I mean, there's also some AoE units as well. If you're looking for a decent AoE, I recommend trying to get your hands on a good like AoE Berserker. To somebody like Morgan Le Fay, Ibuki Doji Berserker. They can be really, really solid additions to your roster because of their ability to have 50% charge and the niches that they cover. Morgan Le Fay is anti-man niche, which is one of the three major ones. And Ibuki is anti-earth niche, which is also one of the three major ones. there maintenance tonight? Yes, in 6 minutes. Uh-oh. Stamina just keeps being a problem. Which I am sprinting, I get, but, like, it's a thing. I think the only thing I'm concerned with is, like, I hope that this is just a small slice of the game and not like, hey, here's our demo, everything's actually in. Or like, hey, here's our demo, actually, I'm just gonna drop that singular dodo egg. There is no point to me retaining it. A clay vase. Rune seeds are stuck in the cracks, found over ruins, and sold to smugglers. Okay. Umbaga ingot. Ancient alloy of copper and gold discovered by the ancient people in ages past. Required to ascend equipment. Okay. Woven pillars and beams. Food preparation. Okay, so let's check this out. So I was able to summon my ship. And I need to check the shipwreck sites. And chat, yes, you can move around on your boat. That is something that is already better than Ubisoft. So, feels good, man. We got an AP with only the free 3-star. Nice. That isn't bad. Okay, so it looks like we have nautical stuff. It also appears like, and you can't see because it's behind me, chat, but there is a press B to make people sing. So I guess there will be sea shanties. Like, this literally is just taking a dump on Ubisoft's attempts. So it looks like this ship only goes like rank 2 speed. Also looks like it's fairly stormy out here. I'm wondering if this quote-unquote shipwreck site is just the upcoming island. This did tell me to go to other islands. Which, honestly, it's not like I've done too much at any of the other islands. It'd literally be like the copper would be the only thing that I'd want back there. And as long as there's like a new replenishable resource of copper on another island, who the fuck cares? Now, the wind is kind of shifting me. Does make it interesting. So it looks like the shipwreck is over there, maybe on land. This game definitely has a lot of potential already. I can see it. I wonder if they'll include sea monsters and such. It's gonna have like Black Flag-esque battles. I have already seen like previews of that in the trailer, where you can literally like go jump on the deck of an enemy ship and swashbuckle all the people. So it's like, that just seems amazing. That seems exactly what everybody wanted with kind of Skull and Bones to be. And it's just such a shame because it doesn't feel like Ubisoft actually cared. And they wonder why they go bankrupt. And it's like, yeah, you just didn't do anything that the players actually wanted.
You gonna burst? No, didn't burst. Ow. These things actually get underneath my, like, reach. Which is kind of insane. Medicine, steel nails, stone, and planks base set. Wreck isn't sailing anywhere. Okay, so it doesn't look like destroying it gets me anything. Plus, these enemies hit a little difficult. Master Combat Repair Kit. Stores 80% ship health over 10 seconds. So it looks like ships are what will need to be repaired. Okay. I'm actually okay with that. Dodos everywhere. Key discovery, Misty Orchid. An alchemical ingredient, blooms at night, rarely seen during the day, doesn't grow in the foothills, makes a sound that helps track it down. Alchemy table, stove and pot. Elixir of firm hand, increases melee damage and lasts for 15 minutes. Hell yeah. They literally went with the don't sweat the small stuff. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, that's fine. I'm just not used to it, right? Guest of the camp. Huh. So he's a guest, he's not considered a worker. Most crafting stations and their upgrades can only be built within the area around the bonfire. You don't need to place upgrades right next to your crafting stations as long as they're within the same camp area that work. Inside a camp area, the character gains the rested effect, which increases stamina and recovery. I think the effect is determined by the number of unique decorations that increase the camp's comfort. Okay. Crafting items or building resources are taken from the character's inventory and from all containers within the camp area. So I just wonder, like, is there a maximum amount of camps that you can have? I guess not. It's like, there's no way I should be able to just keep building multiple bonfires on each island. At least not to me. That seems insane. But, chat, This is still the demo. Might have to play this a little bit more. But we'll stop here for tonight. It is 11 o'clock. Let me see who all's on. There's anybody I can give some love to. I see a Mr. Gotcha Guru, so I'm gonna send you guys his way. Again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for understanding with our conversation earlier. I know it's not necessarily what everybody else wants. It's just something that I want at this point, and I feel like I'm gonna be a lot happier doing it. I feel like you guys will see that reflected on me. You're gonna have more fun with the community, have more fun with streams. So I am excited for the future and see what it holds. And again, thank you. I do appreciate the support all this time. Go give Mr. Gotcha Gurus my love. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good one.